And welcome, Finger Lakes basketball fans, to another edition of the Upstate Hoops podcast on FingerLakes1.tv. It's February 20th, 2014, and this is our 14th episode of the 2013-14 season, and we're coming at you live from the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. I'm Jim Sinacropi alongside my co-host Matt Verke. Welcome, Verk.
What's going on, Jim? Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, it's my birthday. 42 years old today. So there's that. And also welcome back to the studio, Lyons head coach Zac Young, scheduled to play his sectional opener tomorrow night against Kendall. Zac, thanks for coming back.
Oh, thanks for having me.
As sectional plays underway, several Wayne-Finger Lakes teams in action on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Several more coming this weekend. No games tonight, so it's perfect time to get caught up and talk brackets for the next half hour. Also tonight, we're going to give our Wayne-Finger Lakes Player of the Year awards in first, second, third, fourth team, Upstate Hoops Awards, which is always fun. The Upstate Hoops podcast is brought to you by Generations Bank. Generations of service for over 140 years. Visit them online at mygenbank.com. And check out their mobile banking app in the iPhone or Android app stores. And also by Red's Place, serving great lunches daily in downtown Seneca Falls. Come down and watch all the big games on one of their 10 flat-screen TVs. And check them out online at men'shalloffame.com. And Seneca Meadows Landfill, responsible waste management for the next generation. See how they do it by watching their videos at senecameadows.com. All right, the regular season's in the books, guys, and that means it's time for the Upstate Hoops All-Wayne-Finger Lakes Awards, based on the performance through the regular season. Sometimes maybe a little bit of career it goes into it. But it was tough, Verk, a lot. I think the one theme from this year is that I think the West and the Wayne County leagues were a little deeper, and a lot of better players came to the forefront as a result of it. It wasn't just a last year it was a 2-3 team race. In Wayne County this year it was like a 5-6 team.
Yeah, I think you saw a lot more depth in Wayne County. The Finger Lakes West was a little top heavy, I would say, with Bloomfield and Dundee.
Whitman
won some games.
Another strong year by Naples, even they trying to defend their championship.
Right. And obviously, Dundee had some injuries there towards the end, which kind of threw things into a little spiral there. But great year for all three leagues, and they're hopefully going to represent well come sectional play time here, and they're off to a pretty good start.
Well, we got a lot to get to tonight, so let's kick it off right now. Coach of the Year, and this is a collaboration between Verk and I.
Mostly you.
Well, I got to come up with it, and then we adjust it based on what you think. And this was tough because Coach of the Year, I think you kind of would think Tim Jackson at Clyde being undefeated. But we had to go with John Maston of Bloomfield, 16-2, Finger Lakes West champions, and a great season for the Bombers. And they're ready to make a run into Class C2 sectional title.
Yeah, obviously, tough choice. I think there's high expectations at Clyde, and I think they lived up to them. So that's kind of, it takes away a little bit maybe from that Coach of the Year. But, Coach Maston did a great job with Bloomfield, and, we'll see how they make out in a tough C1 bracket here.
And let's start with the fourth team. And we try to keep it guard, forward, center, 3 guards and 2. Try to make it a basketball team. You could field some of these teams, have a little mini tournament maybe. But fourth team, we got Jamie Rosser out of Newark, Phineas Jocks, did I say that right?
You did.
At ER, and Isaiah Tilley in Naples. He's just a junior too. He'll be back. And then at forwards, we got Cole Hartman at Dundee, who's injured, but he's a junior. He'll be back. And then DJ Long out of Lyons. Zach, talk a little bit about DJ.
Very athletic kid, good jumper. Scored a lot more for us this year. And he had a very solid year, very solid year for us. And, pretty much our big three carried us in scoring all year, him, Damian, and Damon. And Very happy with DJ, and I hope he wants to try to play somewhere at the next level, and he's got to improve on some things, but he has gotten better as sophomore to junior year, junior to senior year.
So. You love to see that. What about Jocks at ER? You've faced them twice this year. What's
Phineas is, if you watch Phineas play his freshman year, you would have never thought he would have become what he ended up doing this year. Really good athlete, good in transition, a lot of great energy player, hustler, got a lot of rebounds, and I think ER is going to be a team in that top bracket that's going to give some people fits. They have a nice road. I like their path, and I like them to get to the finals for sure.
And then moving down to the third team, we got at guard Joe Faniel from Clyde, who we had a preseason team, Stu Verk, and Faniel wasn't on there, but he is he's just as key a component to their success as DeSanto and Bogan.
And really improved throughout this year, really. And, he had some big games late. I know he had like 27 against North Rose when, like 17 in the fourth quarter. A game that he kind of put Clyde on his shoulders and willed them to a victory in that game. But, obviously a tremendous athlete, great football player. And but this year you really saw him mature as a basketball player, able to, he's got a great pull-up jumper. We saw that, and he seems like he's the steadying factor on that team a lot of times. Again, when he's playing well, Clyde is that much better, and it takes away some of the focus from the big guys and allows them to do a little bit more.
I think last year you could really focus on those other two. And I know that the first time we played them, that was our game plan, and then all of a sudden, first quarter, Joe's bopping in shots, and he killed us when we played him at Clyde. He's had a phenomenal year, and I know Coach Jackson speaks very highly of his work ethic, and it seems like a very nice kid.
And staying in Wayne County in third team, Justin Reho at ER. How does he compare to Jocks as a backcourt mate?
Phineas is more under the basket. Justin is a shooting guard. He doesn't really get to the hole that much, but he's got a good pull-up jumper. He said he had a really good second half for them, a really good second half. I actually went and watched them play Clyde the second time up at ER, and he kept them in the game. They actually went box-and-one on him in the fourth quarter. And he's a senior. He had, like I said, throughout the year, I just think he's gotten better, and I know he puts a lot of time in the summer, and he's a good player.
Is he the one who hit 7 threes in one of the games?
Yeah, he hit 7 threes. I think versus North Rose there. They've been a lot of our games were close, and they came out with some close wins. I think they beat us by 1. They beat North Rose by 1. I think both times, and senior leadership helps for sure.
And then speaking of senior leadership, Justin Brace out of Dundee, another guy who's suffered an injury heading into sectionals for Les Miller Scots, but deserving of the spot on the third team. We saw him send one home at Romulus on two dunks that night for Brace.
Yeah,
but good all-around player.
Yeah, he's he obviously tough to see him go down and kind of hurt their chance a little bit in sectionals, but hopefully they can pull together and make a little run.
Then rounding out the third team, we got Terrell Johnson at Geneva, another senior big guy for Brian Miller, who's just been producing for the last 3 years on varsity, and they had a solid senior season. Yeah,
great athlete. Really pretty much improved every year. I thought, before he's just kind of a rebounder and stuff, and this year he's done a little bit more scoring. He's able to hand the ball a little bit, but a great 3-year career, back-to-back Finger Lakes champions. And Geneva's a team, obviously them in Newark and Wayne in Class A, looking for that sectional title this year.
And then we round out the third team with a guy who led a team that was a little bit of a surprise, I'd say, and that's the Wayne Eagles this year, taking third place in the Finger Lakes East. And Big Mike Hollenbeck's one of the reasons why, tallest guy in the league. How tall is he, Bray? Is he 6'6"? I think I'm at 6'6", 6'5".
6'5", 6'6", I'd say.
But he rounds out the third team for the Wayne Eagles. And moving up to the second team, we head to the west, and we got guard Luke Shively from Marcus Whitman, who seemed to score 26 points every night that you looked in there. Then we got Mason Jones out of Mid Lakes, another big-time scorer, having a good senior season. And then, Zach, we got another guy who was the sectional MVP for you guys last year, Damon Hunter, who's probably the most exciting player to watch in the Wayne Finger Lakes, and he suffered an injury a couple weeks back, and that's so disappointing because I remember last year in the big house watching him perform, and we're just not going to get a chance this year.
Yeah, he hurt his meniscus for SOTUS, and it's a good thing is he's a junior. It wasn't his ACL. It wasn't a major injury, but he's out, and he certainly he had some games where he was very good this year, and he's still got some things to work on, and we want him to get a little stronger, but he's a very talented player, no doubt about it.
And Verk, we were bouncing him around between first and second team.
Yeah, obviously getting hurt may have hurt his chances in our poll a little bit, but Hunter he obviously had a great year this year, and it was obviously the key to a lot of success that Lyons had, and did a little bit of everything for him. I saw a lot of games where he's having 7-8 assists, and seemed to distribute the ball real well this year. And
second half of the year, I would say for sure,
a lot more assists
towards the second half. And if we made some more shots, he might have had some more.
That always helps.
Joe Maine Bogan, the big guy for Clyde, on the second team.
Just another name that's been around, and Clyde coming off their first sectional title last year in over 10 years, and a key cog obviously for the Clyde Savannah Golden Eagles, and he seems like he's been there for forever, really. We've been doing the games for 3 years. We did quite a bit of Clyde's games, and we saw him have a bunch of dunks, athletic, kind of likes to does a little bit of everything, really.
Yeah, steps out and takes a few threes here and there. I don't know how much Tim Jackson likes that, but and then rounding out the second team, this kid's a junior from the Bloomfield Bombers, the FL West champs, Alex Flattery. Haven't ever seen him play in person, but obviously admired his stat line every night. And talking to guys who have coached against him or played against him, they all say that he's tough big guy for Bloomfield.
Yeah, I've never seen him play either. Obviously, Bloomfield had a great year this year, going undefeated in the West, and a matchup I would be looking forward to him if they end up playing Minders, if things work out in the semis. We'll
get a good look at
him and Ruddy. Could be a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, maybe we see him in the big house or in the round prior. So first team, Upstate Hoops Wayne-Finger Lakes, first team players. Starting at guard, we went with probably the best player on one of the best teams, the Finger Lakes East champ Newark Reds, Micah Wright, who is going to play football at Maine, but he epitomizes, I guess, what you think of when you think of Newark basketball. He's quick, he's aggressive, great defender, athletic, and he had a great career.
Yeah, and he wasn't a guy who went out and got 20 points every night, but consistently 14, 15, 16 points, 10 rebounds, a bunch of steals. We saw him have a couple dunks this year. Obviously, a tremendous athlete and a good kid, and he really keyed the defense, that defensive pressure that Coach Haverola liked this year. And I thought he was a key cog on a team that won the toughest league. And I thought he was the best player on one of the them
and
in
Geneva. should be represented on the first team.
Yeah.
So we got him on there. Now, at the beginning of the year, we probably wouldn't have thought that this kid was going to be on our first team. Maybe Zach did, but at guard we got Jake Slobe out of Red Creek, just a junior still. I don't know if I've seen. I don't know if you have stats, but is he the leading scorer in Wayne County?
I would say hands down.
He's got to be, right?
I think he was averaging over 25 points a game, which he had to, for his team. It's not like he was going out chucking 50 times a game either.
Yeah.
He shot about 15 to 20 times whenever I watched him, and he's a very good player. He's going to keep improving, I think. Unfortunately for me, but and we played a box of one on him the whole game, and he still had 26. So he's smart. Very, very smart, fundamentally sound, and just going to keep getting stronger. And he's got a nice career ahead of him.
Yeah, and it's done this year. They lost to Williamson last night, which was a little surprising.
Tuesday night, right?
Yeah,
Tuesday night.
I was pretty surprised by that.
A 2-point game. Slobe had 29. Tom Fairland, 31 points, career high. Hey, look out for Williamson as the Cinderella, maybe. Then we got Verk, a guy who is one of the best big men in Finger Lakes East, and Luke Ruddy from Minders, and certainly a Player of the Year candidate. And I think he may have been our preseason Player of the Year. Maybe Minders didn't experience as much success as they had his junior year when he had a Brandon Passalacqua with him, but certainly the guy's had an awesome career. He scored 40 points once this year.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, that was against the Lions. That's right.
They, Luke's had obviously a storied career at Minders, and he played with some great players at Minders, and he's been up since his freshman year, and so let me think, his freshman
1,000-point score.
Did he score 1,000 points?
Yeah,
I don't think he has.
Really?
I haven't seen the paper.
I haven't seen anything that he had it yet. He's got to be close.
I might have spoke too soon.
Yeah.
I just assumed,
you
actually.
Just jinxed him. He could have been probably the 6th player in Minders history with 1,000 points, I think. I think there's 5 or 6.
Got to be close, though.
Yeah, I would imagine, playing for 4 years. He was never, obviously the freshman didn't score a lot, but, his sophomore, junior year, he was, in the mid-teens, I think. And, this year he's probably up around 20 points a game, so he's got to be getting close. But, he's got 2 sectional titles. He won them as a freshman and as a junior. And, this year was his year to really be the focal point of Minders, and he was. And he drew a lot of attention inside, obviously. And, Minders really went through him this year a lot. And, Luke's going to continue his career, somewhere at the Division III level. And he's got a lot of skills. He's got some things he can still work on and things like that. But, I think he's gotten better every year. And,
he's got a great work ethic, too, from everything I've heard.
Yep.
So, I think he really maximizes his skills. I think if a lot of kids worked as hard as he did, they would see their stock go up. So, congrats to Luke on a great career. And
it's not over yet.
You better sleep.
He might win another sectional title.
Luke, if you're watching, sleep good tonight, because Gananda is going to make you work tomorrow. It's going to be if we didn't have a game, that would be a game that I would go watch, because it's going to be up and down.
Gananda, right?
It's going to be up and down. Yep.
They're playing that at Marcus Whitman, though.
That was actually an error. That's what it said on the Section 5.
Yeah, I saw it. So
yeah,
that's at Gananda.
That's at Gananda. Marcus Whitman's actually home the same night. So,
yeah.
All right, rounding out the first team, Ray Sims Jr. for Geneva. One of the best big men in the league, one of the best players in the league in all the Wayne-Finger Lakes. And I remember seeing him as a sophomore, this big kid shoot a 3. And I was like, what's going on here? What's up with this kid? And sure enough, he's developed a complete game. He handles the ball. He scores in close. He shoots outside, and is really the leader. He's what Micah Wright is in Newark. I think Ray Sims Jr. is to Geneva.
Yeah, and he's a kid who, as a sophomore, won sectionals with the Sales, freshman.
Couldn't tell.
One of those years. He was with the Sales, right, and obviously the Sales closed with Canale and those guys. Obviously a good team. And he came over to Geneva and has done really well there. Obviously a little different big man maybe compared to Ruddy. He likes to, he's able to step outside and knock down the 3 a little bit more consistently. But he put up some big rebound numbers, and he did a little bit of everything for Geneva. And Geneva had another great year, and he was the leader of that team this year. And Geneva came back after losing some key cogs. With us obviously losing the Player of the Year last year in Shane Sweeney. Yeah. Sims stepped up and did a great job this year.
And then rounding up the first team, Big Chris Dean from North Rosewolka. Zach, tell us a little bit about this guy. Tough to handle, from what I hear.
He's a good rebounder. He runs the court well. He can finish down low, and he can make 15, 17-foot jumper. And he's pretty much unguardable for anybody on our team. We tried to front him to bother him, but when he catches it with somebody behind him in the post, he just elevated and shot over. And he's a good kid. 1,000-point scorer, just scored 1,000 points. Had a very nice year this year, and he's as important to them as anybody else. As anybody on an individual team. I think he really kind of makes them go. They have some other good younger players, but he's their key cog, and they got a shot to make a little run, I think, in their class as well. So I wish them good luck. And Coach B2 or B1, I can't remember. Yeah, I hope they have a nice run. Coach Hoyt is I'm good friends with from North Rose, and the Dean kid, he's talking about Wells College, I heard, and a couple other places.
Maybe co-ed now.
Yeah, maybe playing at the next level. So he wants to go somewhere smaller and close, from what I've heard. But he can definitely play somewhere, I think.
And now, Player of the Year. It's kind of obvious if you followed this show this year, because we haven't mentioned his name. He's obviously someone that deserves to be on one of these teams. But our Player of the Year, capping off a great career for Clyde Savannah, and I know this kid's a 1,000-point scorer because I saw him score as a 1,000-point. Right. Cam DeSanto, our Upstate Hoops Wayne-Finger Lakes Player of the Year. And Zach, as somebody who's coached against him for the past few years, I'm sure you'd agree he's deserving of the honor.
Absolutely. He got better. He was a good player last year, and he improved this year, especially from the perimeter, I thought. He's always been a good rebounder, good finisher, just plays to exhaustion, and well-deserving of the award. Nice kid. Mm-hmm. I wish him the best. Unless we play him, then I don't.
Which you're one game away from each other, right?
Yeah.
So, Verk, any thoughts on Cam?
No, we talked about him a lot. He's been on the show. A very versatile player. Does a little bit of everything. He can handle the ball decent. He shoots it decent. But he does his damage inside. He's a very good athlete. Gets up and down the court real well. And another guy from Clyde who's very good on the football field. Won a sectional title in football. And, they're obviously looking forward to getting sectional play started here. But, he was the Wayne County Player of the Year last year. He repeated this year. And just, best player on the undefeated team. And, all the best to Clyde Savannah going forward.
So congratulations to all the players honored tonight. And, a lot of great players, too, that we didn't get a chance to mention.
It's tough. Obviously, you're encompassing 3 leagues, a lot of teams, and a lot of great players. And, this is just kind of – we don't obviously get to see them all play throughout the year. But I
don't like to go too deep either, Vert, because, I really looked at the Wayne County Awards, and there's a lot of players on there. I mean, they got 4 or 5 teams deep, and there's put 6 or 7 guys on a team.
We do 3 teams. Three teams.
And then they have honorable mention and special mention.
Oh, it was the honorable mention. I just remember seeing that almost.
We don't.
You had a lot of 7 guys on first. Is that not public knowledge?
Yeah, I don't want to release it yet, but we don't have any more. First team, second team, third team, but we cap it at 18 is what we try to stop it at. 18 kids for that.
But
there's not 8 on every team, though. It's
no. We had 7.
You kind of decide if you have a
good this year. We thought we had 7 first teamers, 5 second teamers, and then 6 third teamers.
Gotcha.
So we kind of.
So just comparing it to what we do, we're going 3 leagues, and we got 4 teams of 5, and then they're going 1 league.
They make it easy on themselves. Just we'll put 8 on first team.
So real quick,
must be that league chairman.
This show is running a little bit late here. I want to just give our all underclassmen team, and we do this because these are guys we're going to be seeing for a couple more years, so we want to kind of spotlight them, freshman or sophomore who made an impact this year, and we got 6 of them this year on the all underclassmen team. Austin Fingar from Penn Yan's a sophomore, Andrew Fleischman from Naples, sophomore, Devin Verkey, Minders, freshman. Full disclosure, your cousin.
Yeah, he's gonna be a real good player. I think he's he can shoot it with anybody in the league, really. I think, and he's only gonna get better.
And then heading down to South Seneca, sophomore Lincoln Lowe, Honeoye sophomore Jacob Soliday, and then in Waterloo, big man number 44, sophomore Ben Deming, brother of the girls standout Lauren Deming.
I'd also, mention Brett Anderson as a freshman.
He played a lot of minutes this year.
As a freshman, did a nice job for Miners this year, I thought, as well.
Yep, absolutely. So sectional action underway in Class B1. Mid-Lakes beat Dansville 45-30 to 43 to advance. Grease Odyssey ended Waterloo season 62-54. In Class C1, Gananda beat Warsaw 67-26, and Minders beat Sodas 75-47. So they're going to face each other tomorrow night. Williamson held off Red Creek 62-60. In Class C2, it was Campbell-Savona ending Red Jacket season 47-41. Alexander beat Marion 59-27. And in Class C3, it was Boulevard Richburg 61, South Seneca 43, Naples 63, Alfred Allman 48. So Naples moves on. And then Oakfield, Alabama 86, Honeoye 33. We'll step aside, take a 60-second break here from our sponsors, come back and quickly run through the brackets. We'll be right back.
We hold on to the things that really matter. Welcome to Generations Bank.
Hi, I'm Jody Torrio. If you're like me, you've got stuff lying around the house that you want to recycle, but you're just not sure how, like broken toasters, vacuum cleaners, or microwaves. At Seneca Meadows, we have a drop-off for those. Bring in anything with a cord, and we'll make sure it's recycled properly through our partnership with 2TRG. It's that easy.
Here we come. And welcome back to the Upstate Hoops podcast on FingerLakes1.tv. Remember, you can subscribe to us. The best way to do it is to head over to podcast.fingerlakes1.com/upstatehoops or subscribe to fingerlakes1.com on YouTube or search for us on iTunes. Search for Upstate Hoops on iTunes. So real quick, guys, we're already almost at the half-hour mark, but we got to talk sectionals. Wayne-Finger Lakes team still alive. HAC still alive in Class D1. And they they're playing, who are they playing? You guys got that up?
I do.
Hammondsport, that's right. So there's a legitimate chance for them to move on to the Final Four in Class D1. The only other Wayne-Finger Lakes team in there was Romulus, and their season came to a close.
Thinking there, Notre Dame Batavia's got to be a pretty heavy favorite, I would think.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about Jasper Trusberg as well. So I think those are the two teams kind of gearing up. But I could see HAC. They've gave some teams some trouble with some of the better teams in the West. So maybe they can get an upset over Hammondsport.
Well, we'd love to see them in the big house. That's what it's all about for me, Vic. I want to see Wayne-Finger Lakes teams get to the big house. I want to go. And I want to watch all day Wayne-Finger Lakes teams in every bracket. So Class C3, Naples is still alive, as I mentioned. They got Geneseo next. That's going to be a tall task for them. And Dundee, we had Les Miller on last week, coach of the Scots, and they, of course, had some injury concerns. But they'll host Oakfield, Alabama tomorrow night.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Oakfield, Alabama. Dundee obviously facing some tough injuries, but I think that's going to be a good contested game, and you never know.
That's unfortunate for Dundee. I think really the two teams in this class that I like are Wheatland and Perry. I would say Geneseo, but I know they lost a player in a skiing accident right before sectionals. One of their best players. They're very athletic. But Wheatland Chili is the team that almost beat Clyde last year in the semis. Probably should have beat them in the semis. A lot of those players back, they have a very good forward. So I'd say it's probably them and Perry, but maybe Dundee can give them a game.
Who did Clyde beat in the final last year?
Kendall by about,
like 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wheatland and
for some reason I thought I got them screwed up.
Yeah, Wheatland was probably the second best team obviously last year. It was a great game from what I heard.
Well, speaking of Kendall and speaking of Clyde, here we are looking at Class C2. And we were really excited this year because Clyde and Lyons were both in Class C2. And here we are looking at these brackets, and we got Clyde, the 1 seed, playing Campo Savona tomorrow night, and then also Lyons hosting Kendall. Now, we mentioned the injuries, Zach, that you had. You got your 6th man out, 2 starters out, including Damon Hunter, last year's sectional MVP. But you're hosting this home game against a 12-6 Kendall team. What do you tell your team? Obviously, this has to affect your team, the players that are going to suit up.
Yeah.
How do you get them in the right mindset?
Well, after it all happened, I talked a little bit about our last 2 games, and I said, we're going to have some guys in some different spots, and we really battled versus Gananda. We had another kid out sick, and we played well, and I know we came up short, but it was a 1-point game with about 5 minutes left, and then first North Rose, it was 27-23 at half. We missed a layup to start the second half, and they went down and made it and 1, and we could just never close the gap. So I just try to keep your head up. We hadn't really had a chance to regroup or practice or anything. We got scrimmage Pelmac Saturday, so it was a little strange. Usually you have everything in and know what you're going to do in one of those scrimmages, and it was more like a preseason scrimmage for me, just kind of seeing who fit with each other. But we had a very good practice today. We had a good practice we didn't have a great practice yesterday, but a couple good practices this week. And I have probably 4 JV players who started the year on JV are going to play significant minutes tomorrow. So it's a great opportunity for them. Yeah. It's an awesome experience for them. We have a couple seniors who, DJ and Damien have been in games bigger than that before. So I think a lot tomorrow. They're pretty athletic. They have a really good point guard, and they got to the finals last year, so they have some experience. I think if we can score the ball efficiently, that's kind of what I'm worried about, is us being able to score. North Rose, we missed like 15 shots in a row in the third quarter. We're just kind of a little out of sync. So if we can score the ball, I think we have a shot. But no, I'm not really looking at the rest of the bracket, just trying to get past Friday's
One
game.
game at a time, yeah.
And then if we win, then we'll meet Saturday and try.
Where would you play Lyons, or where would you play Clyde if you were to meet in the next round?
I would say about 99% to be at Waterloo.
Waterloo instead of Newark?
I would say Waterloo, yeah. Maybe not. Depends. But one of those two places, yeah.
That would be Monday?
That would be Monday, yeah.
24th, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's take a look here. Well, before I do that, Clyde obviously at 18-0 is a heavy favorite in Class C. Do you see anybody in the lower half of the bracket there, Zach, that would be troublesome for Clyde or Lyons?
Kelmum has very good size. Van Auken boys very good. They have a great athlete in Curtis Hout. And, yeah, I mean, they're 17-1. So they're not a team that they're not going to be pushed around down low. I know Clyde does a lot of damage down low, and I could see them giving Clyde some problems if especially, you guys have talked about all year, Clyde, with if they get anybody in foul trouble, that could happen. And Cuba Rushford, to me, is really the wild card team. Nobody really sees him play. I've played him. We've played him the last 2 years. We lost him in the finals 2 years ago. It was kind of an upset, I would say, by most people's account. And we played them last year in the quarterfinals. They were 13-5, and they were a 7 seed. And they are not scared of anybody, I will tell you that. They're very chippy. They made 19 threes their last game versus a Fillmore team who's Class D. But 19 threes is 19 threes. And they're going to sling it. And, yeah, I mean, that could be a team that,
19 threes is a lot.
Yeah, Clyde plays that.
60 points.
Clyde plays that matchup, and they may have to play man a little bit in that game. They may have to play man.
Which could lead to the foul trouble.
It's not a great place to be. If you've ever talked to anybody, the Blue Cross, shooting a lot of threes. Usually, some teams struggle, but that winner of that game, I think, for sure could give them some problems. I would say Clyde would be a favorite, but they're both good teams. It's a pretty solid bracket in the top half, I would say.
Moving up to Class C1, this is without a doubt the class with the most Wayne-Finger Lakes flavor. You got Bloomfield, number 1 seed. They'll face Byron Burgeon. And then the winner of that will face the winner of Minders at Gananda tomorrow night. And then moving down further, you got ER against Williamson, a Wayne County matchup in the second round. ER had a bye. And then Avon and Early College rounded out. So you got three teams outside the Wayne-Finger Lakes, and the rest are actually, you got 3 Wayne County teams and 1 Finger Lakes East team and 1 Finger Lakes West team. And we talked about it all year, Verk, with Minders. This wouldn't be the first time they won a sectional championship with a losing record during the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously played a great schedule. Playing the Finger Lakes East, obviously you're playing Newark twice, Geneva twice, Wayne twice, and they went out and played Lyons twice and Clyde twice. Mm-hmm. So right there's 10 games against tough competition, and the rest of the Finger Lakes East is no slouch either for the most part. So they're well tested. They were a minute away from going to Glens Falls last year. They got some kids. Anderson's been there, Ruddy's been there. They got some new pieces this year. Coffee was there. And I think that's what they need, somebody to emerge as a another. They need somebody to get hot for them and take some pressure off Ruddy. And they're capable. We talked to Jason Anderson when he's playing well. They're they can be really good.
Yeah, Liam Carraher was on the team last year too.
Yeah, yep. He was a good contributor for him. He got it going the other night a little bit. You know, if Devin and Liam, those guys are hitting threes,
they're tough to beat.
You know, and they're and because Luke's going to draw a couple guys and he can kick it out, and I think Devin's probably going to see a little bit more playing time coming off a 5-point. You know, he made 5 threes the other night and really sparked them in that second quarter, a big win over Sodas. They're a dangerous team. You know, when you got a guy that's talented as Ruddy and he's got that size, and then you got some athletes around him, some shooters. You know, I think they're well prepared.
That's probably, to me, it's intriguing matchup. Gananda has some size.
Yep.
They have some guys that can get hot. I mean, they were 12 for 25 from the arc the last time we played them. They are going to press the whole game. They're going to run and jump. And like I said, they play about 11 or 12 guys on their home court this year. They've been very good. They beat us there. They took East Rochester to overtime. They probably should have won the game. They played Clyde tough the night that Terry Brown got his jersey retired. It was about a 6-point game going in the fourth quarter. So I think it's going to be a really good game. I think Ruddy gives Minders the advantage. I think he's the best player on the court. But Gananda's it's in a do or die game. They're definitely capable.
Yeah, actually, that's probably the best game you'll see on Friday night. Now, I'm looking at this bracket, and I'm intrigued by Bloomfield playing either Minders or Gananda because we always want to test the West against the other leagues. And then down low, I'm just looking at ER and saying they're gonna cruise to the finals.
Well, I don't know. What do you know about early college?
Don't count out early college.
Yeah, okay.
City team, you never know who they're going to have for the some of those city teams. You never know who's going to be there that night.
They've played obviously a lot of good teams.
I think they beat Avon. I think East Rochester takes care of Williamson easily with some pressure. Williamson off a big upset over Red Creek, in my opinion, and East Rochester early college. East Rochester plays. Coach Michaels has that matchup that they run that I don't think it's going to phase early college because when I watched them play last year, they just shot like a ton of threes and are athletic. And I was talking with Mark at their league meeting. He goes, "It was tough to scout them. They shoot within 5 seconds, but it's just a different brand of basketball." Yeah. And they're like I said, they're 8-10, but put them in a different league, and who knows what their record are.
Well, plus they're at college. I thought this was high school, early college. What the heck?
I mean, I think there's 3, 4, 5 teams that could win it. Bloomfield, Gananda, Minders, ER, or early college, and Avon's not they're solid. I know they're well coached. Coach Freeze does a good job there. So you never know.
I know one team Avon didn't want to see was Minders because I think Minders have beat them 3 or 4 years in a row in sectionals quite handily. But Bloomfield's really intriguing to me. Just that it's tough to get a good read on them. The one game against Dundee when Dundee was at full strength was a close game. Then they blew them out when Dundee was missing some guys. Their losses are to Livonia and Soda. I think beat them.
Yeah.
So it's tough to get a.
They'll be well prepared. Coach Maston does a very good job. He's due. He's had some great teams. Just come up a little short a couple times.
They had the good big guy there a couple years ago.
The year they beat us in the semis, Rayburn, they got upset by ER in the finals, and they're due. They're going to play good defense. I don't think they're the most athletic team in the world, but they'll be a tough out.
Well, gotta love C1. We'll be keeping our eye on that action. Now moving ahead quickly to B2. You got Wellsville as the number 1 seed in B2, but you got Marcus Whitman as a 4 seed hosting Hornell tomorrow night. And then you got Chris Dean's North Rose Wolcott at 13-5 3 seed hosting Attica. Now for North Rose Wolcott, they got another private school that they could potentially face in the next round in Leadership Academy.
They're a charter. It's a little different than a private, but
they're a break off of
Charlotte
basically.
It's a strange deal.
Coach Miller thinks Leadership's
Leadership's got the most talent in that bracket, no doubt. They beat Charlotte twice this year, but they also lost to early college once. So they've had some games where you raise your eyebrows, and they've beat some really good teams. So. Like I said, with some of those city schools.
Yeah, a lot of this quarters, there's 8 teams there who pretty fairly matched. I think North Rose, Attica.
I think North Rose wins that pretty easy.
Yeah.
Attica's
got to travel all the way to North Rose. That's got to be a freaking hike.
Oh man, that's a 2.5 hour drive.
It's a long ride. Ride. Wellsville, Coach Inslee does a great job up there. I wouldn't count them out. They play a pretty good schedule. So I kind of like Wellsville and Hornell to meet in the semis, and Leadership in North Rose. And I wish North Rose the best, but Leadership's very athletic, and I think playing Clyde twice is going to help North Rose in that game.
Sure.
Because Clyde's a very athletic team too, but I would say Leadership would be the favorite going in by most people in Rochester.
Well, nobody said it would be easy to win a sectional title.
They don't give them out,
No.
It's you got to earn them.
Moving ahead to B1, Class B1, we got Mid Lakes facing Livonia. Mid Lakes, great win the other night against Dansville. Season's probably going to end tomorrow night, but like you say, that's why they play the game. Penn Yan against Franklin. Penn Yan started out good, then had a tough middle of the season, and then finished strong.
Yeah.
They should just make more 60-foot last-second buzzer shots, right?
They dealt with some injuries all year, too. I know the Bloom boy coming back for them.
Shane
helps.
Bloom?
Yeah. They got a tough draw, though, with Franklin.
A lot of, we're seeing a lot of, Franklin, Charlotte, University Prep, not
And then Pell Mac.
not knowing what to expect there a lot of times.
Yeah. Tough matchups.
That's B1 is pretty tough for these teams, for teams like Mid Lakes, Penn Yan, and Pell Mac. But
how do you like Livonia's chances?
Not very good.
No?
I just think the winner of I think Franklin will give them a pretty good game. If they get by Franklin, I think Charlotte or UPrep. I know UPrep's very good. I think Livonia might have one of their better players injured as well right now. But
that never helps.
No, doesn't help. Doesn't help. So UPrep I actually saw for a half. They're very good. Charlotte, I can't really figure them out. I know they had some kids ineligible at points during the year. So hopefully they got their grades up and they're ready to roll.
Well, in A2, and this is the final class, we're not going to do the other A's. There's no Wayne-Finger Lakes teams in there, but there certainly is an A2. You got 1 seed, 2 seed, and the 4 seed from the Finger Lakes East, Geneva, Newark, and Wayne. And what you're going to see if Geneva's able to beat Monroe tomorrow night, or actually that game will be on Saturday, and Newark's able to beat Greece Olympia on Saturday, you're going to have a doubleheader in the Blue Cross Arena on Tuesday night, February 25th, featuring Game 1, Geneva against either Wayne or Northeast-Northwest College Prep, which Geneva-Wayne, that would be great. And then you're going to have either Newark against probably Batavia, which Batavia knocked them out last year in the sectional finals. So that might be worth a trip west, huh?
I wouldn't say Wayne is a lock in that game. Northeast, Northwest College Prep. I know they beat them earlier in the year, but I think they just knocked off Leadership. And I think Wayne has not the Hollenbach boy, but another boy who's not playing in the game for different reasons.
Just real quick on a side tangent, what's going to happen if Northwest East College Prep wins this one, University Prep wins that one, Leadership? What happens if we get all these charter private schools win every section? Think they make a change then?
No.
Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen.
It's been going on we talk about it all the time. You got Kearney winning all the time, Aquinas.
But even
they move them around. They have a competition committee that moves. If a team wins 6 in a row or a couple in a row, they'll move them up and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. The charter school thing is a whole nother area. Of
they're going to get one in Wayne County.
What's that?
They're going to get.
I know. I feel bad for some of
Phelps,
the
right?
For some of the B schools. I do feel bad, but.
The thing I don't like about this, though, is even with Aquinas and Kearney, at least these are familiar names. Now it seems like we're just making up all sorts of crazy schools, and and it's hard to identify with them.
Well, the Leadership thing is Leadership and Charlotte are the same. They're on the same campus, and then they're split up for 2. Charlotte, all the 2 of his starters from last year are now on Leadership after this year. Which.
Crazy.
I don't know if they're all doing it for basketball reasons. I think there's probably some other reasons why they're having these schools.
Yeah, I don't get. I mean, what do you go to leadership for? Is it they got different curriculum, or
I'm not sure.
I mean, I think we first saw some of this when 3 or 4 years ago when Minders was undefeated and they go to Buffalo and they lose to
Buffalo Middle College
by 50.
Who's very good again this year.
Yeah,
but you got high school kids playing against college kids. It's just crazy.
That year Middle College won the state championship,
sure,
and they won every game by 30 points.
They were a Class A school that split, and everybody kind of like leadership in Charlotte, but all the basketball players were at the Middle College school.
Yeah, they could have won Class A that year.
And they, last year they got upset by Silver Creek, and this year I just looked at the Section 6 where I came. They're 13-5, but they play all
right.
They play. It's like kind of like Miners, only
right.
They're playing A schools and B schools, so they're the favorite out there. And ever since, I don't think we Class C. I can't remember. I think Avon. I could be wrong. I think Avon's the last team to win that crossover game. I know ER's had some good teams that haven't won. I don't think Miners has won. Avon won the state title, I think, in maybe 05.
Yeah,
that's the last.
Yeah,
C. That's the last C team to win and go on.
I think Miners played them the year after they won the states when Dylan was a sophomore, I believe. Yeah.
So it's
tough. Yeah, and then Middle College. Yeah, that's
tough sledding in Class C up in Buffalo.
But this Class A2 potential of Geneva, Newark final in the Big House. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Look, guys, we've gone way over, but of course we had a lot to talk about tonight. And when we come back next Thursday, a lot of these matchups we're going to be down to. We're going to know who's in the finals.
Yep.
Next Thursday night. Gotta love it. But we're going to head on out of here. Zach, thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it. Good luck against Kendall tomorrow night.
Thank you.
And would love, obviously, if you facing Clyde in Waterloo or Newark, that I think we'll be there. So I'm kind of hoping that comes true so we can go watch that game. And, great time of year, huh, Verk?
Definitely.
So that about wraps it up for this week's edition of the Upstate Hoops podcast. For our live viewers, we'll be back online about, 10 minutes at 10 o'clock Eastern for the Upstate Orange podcast, where we're going to do something different, talk about a Syracuse loss.
Yep.
So thanks for joining us. For my co-host Matt Verkey, Lyons head coach Zac Young, our producer Jeremy Hunt, I'm Jim Sinacropi. See you next Thursday night.